Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Brian Kane, and what I want to do over the course of the next few minutes is I want to share the story of how I first got started in network marketing, why it matters, and why you want to specifically pay attention, because I want to share with you how to create a monthly passive residual income that takes care of your total monthly expenses, that gives you the time freedom, so that way every day is just a different day. The bills are paid for. It doesn't matter if it's Monday or Saturday. Literally every day is just a different day. You decide how you want to spend the time in your life, whether it's traveling a little bit more, whether it's hanging out with friends and family, or whether it is just stacking up the efforts into your business so that way you can go live life on a much larger scale and really live the life that a lot of people dream about. And the reason why I want to do this video specifically is because it's been a while since I've actually done some content. It's been a while since I've done a video and kind of just free float it. And I figured that it would just be kind of a treat for anyone that is closely paying attention to this channel, because the strategy that I'm going to share on the inside of this video is something that I believe is going to open your eyes and help you believe what's possible in the way that it was taught to me back in 2010. Because back in 2010, when I first entered the industry, there was no internet. I mean, there probably was, but I don't even think I had a Facebook account at the time. I didn't know how to use it. I didn't know how to sponsor and recruit more people. I didn't know how to build teams and organizations that stuck around for very long periods of time. I didn't know that I could create a video on the internet and post it to YouTube and it would stick around for ever and ever and ever, and it would get found in the search engines, and as the view counter went up, people would click the link in the description and become leads into maybe a marketing system that I had. I didn't know any of that at the time, and so there were strategies that were taught to me back in 2010 that I believe are very useful. A lot of people, maybe they don't know about them, or maybe they just pass over them because of some of the tools that we have today. And what I've noticed coming into network marketing, affiliate marketing on the internet specifically, is there are some teams and there are some leaders that do very, very, very well, but then they go and personally sponsor 500 people front line and then have a total organization size of 502. That may be, depending on many different factors, it might be the company itself, that might be the way that you build a team and retain the emotional, I guess, effort that someone has, and maybe the passion that they have, just because maybe you haven't built culture into an organization. It could be for various different reasons. And so I want to share with you an idea that I have, a concept that was taught to me, and why I'm using it specifically in the company MyDailyChoice Hempworx. For instance, if you're just seeing this video, you can click the link in the description, and that will allow you to essentially pre-enroll onto our team for free, get to check out our marketing system, why it's so powerful, why I've planted my flag specifically for the next 15 years, because I believe this is a legacy company. It's going to be around for a very, very, very long time. In the CBD industry, I don't know how much you know about it, or maybe you're hearing about it for the first time, but there's a lot of health benefits. And without going too much into the product, maybe just speaking a little bit about the numbers, our company did roughly about $100 million of a $600 million market in 2018. That's 1/6 of the whole market. But what caught my attention was in 2017, they did about 9.6 million. And for a company to scale that quick, that fast, with no hiccups, no structural issues, no, hey, we got to delay the paychecks just next week, just give us a chance. There's none of that. They scaled with almost no issues, at least publicly to the audience. Maybe they had some internal things that they had to go and take care of, but they did that phenomenally. They did it so professional. And so with the Farm Bill being passed in 2018, signed by the president, and I believe it took effect January 1st, Rolling Stone magazine came out with a projection that this $600 million market is going to be a $22 billion industry. 25,000 products can be made with hemp, and the company structured very geniusly. Like, MyDailyChoice is the company, and Hempworx is just a brand. So they can always create more product lines, and they can always go into new markets without market confusion. In fact, like one of the other markets that they have is like these MyDailyChoice sprays. There's a bunch of them. I just happen to have Peak on my table because it increases your libido, and so sometimes like I'll spray it. And the joke about the company is it puts a peak in your pants. Not to put any images in your mind, but just to put it out there, you know. They can go into new markets, and I believe that if you decide to build a team here, you click the link in the description, you take a free tour, you actually get involved with us, you're going to find out that we have some very experienced leadership here that has been around for a very long time, or at least in the industry. And then we also have another group of people that have never done network marketing before, and they're getting started and they're seeing their first commission payments sometimes within the first week. Like, for instance, we had a member, her name was Stephanie Dozier. She came in with no network marketing experience and just followed the daily method of operations that we have laid out inside of our system. And from being someone who is kind of a little bit of resisting against network marketing, she came in and got her first check, and now you can't tell her nothing. So there's that. So we're about 5 minutes in. I want to share with you my story. I want to share with you the strategy, and I believe if you pay attention to this full video, I believe it's going to be very worth it to you. So that way you don't become one of these affiliate marketers that builds 500 personal front line with a total team size of 502. What you can do is you can actually build in depth, and I'll explain more about that in just a moment and why that's so powerful. So 2010, February, I believe it's like even February 10th that I got started. And the way that I got started was, it wasn't on the internet. I wasn't really on Facebook at the time. I received a call from my soccer coach, and he said, "Hey, Brian, I know we haven't chatted in like a year. It's 7 o'clock at night. Can you be over at my house in 15 minutes? And I thought something was wrong. I thought maybe like one of his family members had passed, maybe someone that I knew. I thought maybe he needed help with construction. I didn't know why he wanted me over at his house so immediately and so fast, but I popped in my car, drove over to the house to a room full of people that were there, and it looked like they were some of his highest quality business connections that he knew. And so they popped in this DVD, and it played for about 30 minutes, explained the business opportunity, kind of gave the vision, and then they passed out like this one-page paper that explained the whole business on one page. And so as the presenter was kind of just sharing from like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 about the company, and just kind of going through the parts on this one-page sheet, I saw the vision. I saw the vision of having time freedom. I saw the vision because I was, at the time, I was working at a legal office where I was being paid roughly about $14 an hour as a legal assistant, legal administrative assistant, and file clerk, or whatever title you want to put on it. And so that was the job I had at 16, right in high school. And so being about 18 and a half when I was exposed to this opportunity, I just saw a bigger way of earning. I saw a way of putting in the work once and getting paid over and over and over and over and over again, compared to going to a legal office and then I'd be broke like that same day that I would get paid. And I just knew that there had to be a better way. And I was going to a community college at the time. I ended up dropping out. Because, you know, like when you get the bug and you kind of see what's possible out there, and you see like when you start like going through education and reading books and going through self-development and really taking a look at what successful people are doing, then that kind of catches your attention. And for me, I started following that way. So from this whole presentation, I was invited to that next Thursday night. It was a hotel meeting. So at this hotel meeting, I believe I have a picture of it somewhere where I'm like suit and tie. And so after the presentation, someone asked me if I was ready to get started, and they asked me what I liked and what I liked best. And so here I am at that hotel meeting, filling out the join form, and I get on the inside, and that next weekend happened to be like one of the big international events. And I live in Sacramento. It was in San Jose, a couple hours away. And I was just like, there's no way that I could get a ticket in time. There's no way that I could find a ride down there. There's no way that I could even make it to this event. And because I had great upline leadership, people who were just committed and ready to run, they packed like 5 or 6 of us in this car, and we drove down to San Jose. And so there was like one hotel room, and I'm not talking about like a hotel event space. I'm talking about like an actual like one room hotel. And there's like 12 people that would like pack in this room. People were like sleeping in the bathtub. People were like sleeping under the table. I was like sleeping under like one of the tables. There's like 5 people on the bed, like 2 people on the couch, and it was a very packed hotel room. And then later that night, what happened was everyone would go and camp out inside of the event center in San Jose. I don't know what the center is called, but it's like where they play the hockey and have the whole event arena. And so that was interesting to me. Like all this had happened so fast. And when I got inside this room, there was a leader on stage, many presenters. In fact, the current president at the time of watching this video was also in that room coincidentally. No significance behind it, but I just thought it was interesting. But one of the other speakers on stage, his name, maybe I'll tell you another time. Maybe I'll tell you his name another time. But this speaker on stage in February 2010, he taught a strategy. Fast forward to today. We'll go back. Fast forward to today. And today is June 10th of 2019. That leader is still on stage today with the same core group of leaders nearly a decade later. And it's because, number one, the strategy works. But the crazy thing about that is because looking back on that company to this day is there's so many opportunities out there that just pay so much more. There's so many opportunities out there that have a better system for the new person to come in and succeed fast. But how is it in a company that's, in my opinion, again, they might have a different perspective, but my personal opinion, a company that's very hard to build, that has very low kind of fast start commissions on the front basis, so it takes a very long time to see an income, and you have to sponsor many people in order to have a check that covers your total monthly expenses. How did he do this in a company and keep his whole team around for close to nearly a decade, 10 years? And this, my friend, was the topic that he taught on stage. It was called taprooting. So one of the crazy things about like what caught my interest in a company like this with MyDailyChoice Hempworx was I saw that the marketing system was so phenomenal. Shoot, you're watching a YouTube video right now, and if you click the link in the description, you'll see that you can actually fill out like a tour and actually go through. Well, because the views on this video keep going up, you'll notice that more people are clicking the link in the description. And the idea with shooting videos on the internet in direct sales is that if you can build up to 5, 10, 15, 20 leads a day consistently, where people find it over and over and over and over and over again, you, my friend, are creating a walk-away business. Because if you get enough leads into the system, and enough leads into the system to where one person is buying something every single day, whether you wake up and do extra marketing or not, to me, that's a walk-away business, because you can kind of count on a residual income for actively producing. And so one of my initial goals getting into this company was, how can I do enough videos to sponsor like 5 to 15 people a day? And so I would go on Facebook and make these posts about how can I sponsor 5 to 15 people a day? Because usually when I ask those questions, it becomes a matter of how can I sponsor 5 to 15 people a day? How can I be able to go out there and outproduce the number one person in the company who might have 87 sales for the whole month, which is less than 3 sales a day? And so when I ask questions like that, it gets me in a different mode of the level of production that I can now bring to the table. But this guy over here, his front line was like, it was like 4 people or something like that. Maybe more by now, but it was like 4 main people that he ran with, and that are all still there for the most part to this day. Some people left, some people came back, and then some people like got replaced. But for the core leadership, for the core team, for him to stick around for nearly a decade and not have to worry about like, is that income going to disappear? No, that's a true residual income. And how did he build it? So what he did was a process called taprooting, because in a company like that one or MyDailyChoice Hempworx, you essentially have a ranking system. So for instance, in MyDailyChoice Hempworx, we have the rank 5K, we have the rank 10K, we have the rank 25K, we have the rank 50K, we have rank 100K. And what will happen is if you sponsor all these people front line, you are obligated, in my personal opinion, to help the new person plug into the system, get started, and launch the right way. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean hand-holding. For instance, if you're bringing in so many people, you can only work with so many people. So some people need to fight for your time. Does that make sense? Some people need to fight for your time. For instance, like if you're working with me and our team, right now, or at least at the time of shooting this video, you might be able to message me, but maybe a year from now, it might be a little tougher. I'm the type of person where I care about people, and I'll do my best to get to every single message. But let's be honest, when you've got that much activity, it's a little tough to give your time to everyone, because if you do, your 24 hours in a day disappears that fast with that much activity coming in. So so that's why, like, working with leaders, like if you see people popping up in our team right now, now is the time to just get a hold of them, because that's the way to really get their attention. Taprooting. So instead of sponsoring 5 to 15 people a day and building out this massive organization front line, what happens if you take, like, let's say 4 people, and you build an organization under them? Well, in a company like MyDailyChoice Hempworx, you're paid on volume no matter how far in depth they go. So let's say on your 68th level, like something really far down there, and someone makes an executive sale, and that executive sale produces 400 BV. Well, on the 68th level, if someone makes that executive sale of 400 BV, guess who gets the credit all the way 68 levels up? You do. You do. You do. You actually get the sales. So is it more powerful to figure out how to become a frontline producer and go produce all yourself, all the sales? You spend all of your paid advertising building the whole business? Or is it smarter to work with a few people who just get a few people, 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 till you have at least 100 or 1,000 people on your team that just get a few people, because the 1,000 people who just get a few people are going to produce way more than you can with your amazing advertising budget. Is that starting to make sense? And so you might think, well, Brian, I ain't got no advertising budget. I want to learn how to do this for free. Maybe you're going through some obstacles right now. Maybe you're in debt. Maybe you have to pay the rent this next month. You know what I mean? Well, is it more powerful to go out there and run paid ads when you don't have the money to do that? Or is it more powerful to look for the 4 people in your life who are ready to run? Maybe they even know where you're at financially. Maybe they're someone that they see where you're going because you're just so determined, you're so passionate, and they know that they're going to get left behind if they don't follow you, they don't work with you, they don't make a decision to get in now and get started inside of a company that is a $600 million market and going to jump up to 22 billion and is already taken a sixth of the market, and all these leaders are coming in like industry legends after legends after legends after legends who are in the trenches right now, literally helping out. It's like the best time ever to get started in a business like this. You can always click the link in the description at any time. And so with taprooting, what is the concept? The concept is when you can help a few people, get a few people, get a few people, get a few people, those people know people that you don't. Those people know people that you don't. Oh man, Brian, I don't know any influential people in my life. Man, I've sucked at building relationships like for the past 20 years. And so I don't even have 3 contacts in my phone that I could call today and that they would listen to me because I have to do some personal development, you know? I've just lacked building relationships. I have no friends. Well, that's a couple things. Number one, don't you see that as a problem in your life that you have no friends that you can contact? You see what I mean? So that's a problem. So we actually need to fix that with personal development and taking massive action. And a cool system like this is it gives you the ability to reach out to more people and have a conversation. You have a conversational piece. So that is a start. The second thing is that because you don't have to know the people, and it's always weird. It's like the people that you know the influential people. Does that make sense? So if you get just a few people to get a few people to get a few people, let's say on your 14th level, you have a leader pop up. You have a leader pop up on your 14th level just from getting a few people to get a few people to get a few people. Let's say in the compensation plan, maybe you're only paid down to 10 levels. Who should you work with? Do you work with trying to bring in more people front line? Or on the 14th level that you don't get paid on any of the production up front, like up front, maybe you get the volume for it, who should you work with? My personal opinion, what I was taught on stage, was that you should stop everything you're doing, go down to that leader who wants to run on the 14 levels, and do whatever it takes to get them launched right. Do whatever it takes for every person that they bring in to get started the right way. Why is this? Because if you can build a leader at that 14th level that you might not get paid up front, maybe you get the volume for it, then everyone that is upline from that point, guess who gets motivated? Guess who may not have been emotionally tied to the vision before because they didn't believe that they could do it, and now because they are getting paid. For instance, I have someone in my company right now that is a big hitter, someone that could probably hit the top ranks in the company in maybe less than 12 months. I have another guy who sponsored that guy, and because this guy sponsored this guy, in a certain portion of the pay plan, they earn 30% of the matching check. Well, am I going to talk to the guy who sponsored the guy, or am I just going to go work with the leader? What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass up, go work with the leader, and make sure that the leader does well. If the leader does well, then guess who gets motivated off the 30% matching check? Now, guess what I just did? I just secured a second leader. Does that make sense? So working with one leader, I secured two leaders. But what if it's just not that guy? Maybe in your pay plan, you might get paid multiple levels. So what if I secured the person above them? So now you have a chance to secure multiple leaders. So if they're down on your 14th level, it's a chain reaction of getting motivated, and it sparks all the way up. It sparks all the way up if you see vision. It sparks all the way up if you just stay in the game. It sparks all the way up. So what is more important for you? Is it more important to be a superstar and go out there and do all the cool blogging stuff? Like, I mean, shoot, I'm doing a video right now, so I don't know. Am I a hypocrite for doing blogging stuff? Oh, I do the daily method of operations too. I do the daily method of operations too. This is just additional stuff to that. Because you want to teach your team to get out there and produce content, and ultimately you want to get your team to follow a daily method of operations for the company specifically that you're working right now, whatever that may be for your specific company. And then what you want them to do is, on the side of that, as you're growing and developing leaders, you want them to be able to create their own content, shoot videos, maybe blog posts, because like for instance, like with a blog post. So let's say, take like this book right here. So I go and I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. What is the best way to really retain and learn the concepts from this book? The best way to retain and learn the concepts from this book, in my personal opinion, is you want to learn. So like maybe read it, maybe take some notes. You want to do, like you want to actually practice the information. But then this is the most powerful part. You want to reteach the information. So you want to learn, do, teach. Learn, do, teach. Learn, do, teach simultaneously all at the same time. And so it's one of the reasons, like if you, like for instance, the number 2 income earner gave us a set of books to read. And so as you read the books, are you just reading the books to read the books? No, you should actually be learning, doing, and teaching simultaneously, so that way you can retain the concepts that the number 2 income earner has distilled in her mind, and she's really trying to pass on to you. And that would make a great YouTube video. And then maybe you could actually title the book, or title the video, Rich Dad, Poor Dad Review, and then give your personal opinion on it, your perspective, and maybe share a little bit of your notes. That might get some traffic, and then you have the links in the description. And so now you've got some lead flow and some activity in your business. And what you're specifically looking for are to attract the people who want to run. Maybe you have them in your circle already. Maybe it's warm market friends. It might be your mom. It might be your dad. Maybe it's your family. Maybe you've got a well-connected family. For my family, it's honestly a little bit broken. It's a little bit broken. I have a little bit of broken family. So I have some personal development that goes along with trying to help fix that, help try to mend the relationships. And so who else do you know? Who are your best friends? Who are the people that would stick around you for a very long period of time and actually run with you? Who are the most influential people that you know? Who do you do business with? Like, for instance, my barber. My barber actually needs to do business with me. Otherwise, I could go find a different barber, and maybe they would love for me to write a blog post and send some traffic to someone else. like who can you actually who is actually in your life that is willing to run? Because you don't need to sponsor 5 to 15 people a day. You need 4. You need 4. Because in every single leg, let's say you want to go to a rank 100K, then in leg number 1, what if you had a 25K? That leg could be done. What if leg number 2, 25K, 25K, 25K? Well, how do you get the 25Ks? You got to have 5Ks. And so you get real good at teaching your team what it is that you do. If what you do is so complicated, like for instance, how do you sponsor 5 to 15 people a day and go frontline? Well, for someone like me, it would be like, I got to put together this marketing campaign. I got to run some Facebook ads. I got to get a funnel in place. I got to do some blogging, some content. I got to deliver value to this audience. Maybe I got to give away a free PDF. and then I got to get them on my list, and then I got to convert the list, or maybe I got to get them to a friend request on Facebook. And it's like, oh man, there's all this stuff. It's so complicated that if you're new and just getting started, you're gonna get blown away. You're gonna get blown away. You're gonna blow away everyone. You're gonna have a front line, and no one's gonna duplicate what you do. But if you have a simple system, a daily method of operations that literally everyone can do, like for instance, everyone can essentially log into Facebook. Most people have, like, on mobile phones, Facebook comes default on most phones today. Well, what if you taught someone how to do like maybe a story, and then people see the story, and then you take a list, like you write down like a list of people that maybe watch the story, and then earlier in the morning that next day, you just go search every single person and then send them your prospecting script. Like for us, it might be like, are you into CBD yet? Are you into CBD yet? You just go through the list, every single person. There's going to be a percentage of people that respond, and find out who's open, and then maybe just get their email address. Just get their email address. Just see if they're open, get their email address, and then you would just plug them into the system, for instance. How hard is that? How hard is that? It's not hard at all. You didn't have to create any fancy capture pages. You didn't have to create marketing funnels. And so you can have a new person come into the system that same day, follow the process, and be able to have their own new sales come in. It might not be 1 million of them, but it might be anywhere from like 1 to 4 people. 1 to 4 people. Like top producers, they'll come in, they'll bring like 20 people frontline, you know? But like the average person, maybe like one of their best friends, maybe someone they know, someone they trust, or someone they want to run with. It might be 1 to 4 people. If every person did that, guess how far that duplicates? I'll wait. Just guess how far that duplicates. And then you're looking for a leader. The leader that wants to run and you work with them. The leader that wants to run and you work with them. So you work with the leader because that's going to retain everyone upline. What are some other ways that you could actually retain your people? Most people, they come into this business to make money. But most people then find out that they stay for the recognition. They stay for the passion. They stay because they're emotionally tied to a community of people that are lifting up their vibrations on a emotional and spiritual level, and they look everywhere else in their life, and there is no support for that, except in a place and environment like this. This is why I believe, like, when you take a part of like direct sales, network marketing companies, and specifically MyDailyChoice Hempworx that has the best leadership in the whole industry, where industry legends, every single person that you talk to is open to the conversation, and then they end up saying yes and getting started here. Why is that? It's because it's not just the best opportunity in the world, but there's the right people behind it. There's the right structural foundation, and one of the structural foundation pieces that you need is you need that support for the newest person. You need that emotional support when someone is hit rock bottom, when they've lost all the tires on their car and they're just trying to move forward. That person needs to be in a place like this. And that's why I believe that when you're in a company like this, you can absolutely change someone's world, even if they have financial success or not, because it's a mindset. Success is a mindset. Success will allow you to go from rock bottom, from breakdown to breaking through, because money is just an idea. Money is just an idea. And when you don't feel good in your life and you don't have that support, then your ideas probably are not going to be the greatest. Or maybe you'll have good ideas, but you won't have enough confidence to go out there and execute. It's one of the reasons why smart people, they get into this business, and sometimes they don't do so well because they think all day. Like they just want to think for the next best way to make it work faster when they haven't even gotten started. But then when you have someone who comes into this business, whether they're smart or not smart, and they've got the support of the community, they see a daily method of operations that work, and they feel confident about the process, and because maybe they were recognized and they feel good. When you feel good, you do good. And when you do good, that's attractive to a certain type of person. And when you go out there and you've made your list and you're kind of going through the prospecting scripts and saying like, are you into CBD yet? You're going to get more people. You're going to get more people that will most likely be open to the opportunity, coincidentally, because they can feel an energy that's coming from one side of the computer to the other side of the computer, or if you're local in person, People can sense that all day long. People can see right through what's going on. And so it takes being a part of a powerful environment in order to move people into action. In order to move people into action. And it's at that point you realize that the 4 people that you bring on board who are your runners, you want to be so well connected to them. You want to know about them. You want to know what their stories are. You want to get to know what their goals are. Where are they looking to see this like as part-time, full-time? Do they see themselves traveling and maybe giving a life back to their kids? Like, why is someone in this? Do they want a bigger house? Do they want a fancier car? Because when you know what someone's goals are, that's what's going to allow you to help them propel and get to where they want to go. Because if you don't know where someone's goals are, it's kind of like shooting in the dark. Any road is going to get you there. Any road is going to get you there. And you really want to take the time to make sure someone knows exactly what to do. If someone doesn't even know what the daily method of operations is for their company, I promise you every single time without fail, they're not going far. And it's just the truth. They're not going far if they don't know the daily method of operations. Because you need the daily method of operations to have a business system, a way of operating that attracts professionals. New people who don't know the system can come into and they'll learn it and they can have success. But if you are looking to create bigger movements faster, it's always better to work with people who understand systems and knows how to add value, which are essentially going to be leaders that have been around for just a little bit longer, that have had a chance to get wisdom. And the way that you get wisdom is really through mistakes or mentors, people that are willing to pay for mentors, people that are willing to take action and go through the mistakes. That's where wisdom comes from. And it's always so interesting to me that in companies like MyDailyChoice Hempworx, one of the best opportunities in the world, it still attracts affiliate marketers who come into the system, and affiliate marketers love opportunities like this because obviously they love credible deals that are going to stick around for a long period of time. But from a building aspect, they don't see it like that. They don't see it like that. They see it as a way to come in, earn some fast start commissions, and then move on to the next thing. Network marketers operate a little bit differently. They do kind of what I just mentioned, and it's called taprooting. If you have 4 people that are running hard with you, you may not have even enough time to keep recruiting. Why? Because you should be working with all of your new team members. When a new team member brings on someone 4 or 5 levels down, and there's 4 or 5 new team members, you're looking for the runner who wants to run, and you work with them. Because if you can keep going down an extra 50 levels, guess who everyone gets excited upline? How many leaders get motivated? How many leaders are willing to be emotionally attached and stay in the vision if they're continuing to get paid every single week in a company like this, or every single month if you're talking about residual and passive monthly income commissions or matching checks and all that fun stuff. You, my friend, have the ability to retain leaders for the rest of the life as long as the company stays around, they don't make changes to the comp plan, and that they just keep doing what they're doing, right? That's a way to make passive income. And legacy companies, I can really count them on my hand. Like, for instance, there might be a company like Amway. A lot of people recognize them. A lot of people say, I don't want to join Amway. Yeah, because they don't really pay well. But look, they're like $1 billion company. And those leaders have kept their core leadership around for decades and decades and decades. One of the most secure residual incomes that they've ever, I don't even know if anyone has a bigger residual income. Or maybe we could actually check the home business articles and reviews and see that we have the number 2 earner in all of direct sales right here in MyDailyChoice. So I'll actually add MyDailyChoice as one of them. They're a legacy company. And then there's like companies like Avon and Mary Kay, and then there's like ACN, and then I believe there's like Melaleuca, and then I would say ViSalus, but I don't know how much longer they're going to be around. I'm not going to say anything not good about their leadership, but it's just interesting that, like, when you kick people out of companies, then most people they get very unsure about whether they should continue building, and so that sparks a snowball effect with leaders that may lead to a different opportunity. And so it's really a personal development game at the end of the day. from all of leadership, from company owners, from the new members getting started. And what it really stems from the end of the day is how well do you treat people? Do you treat people as a numbers game? Do you treat people as, oh, they just joined, so I got a commission? In my personal business, there has been many times where I've had personal enrollments that would have signed up with me, and I send them to my team members. There has been many videos on this YouTube channel alone that I could have personally put my personal link to sign people up, but I give them to my teammates. Why is that? Is it because that I just love giving away, I just love giving away free traffic and I don't like to make money? I mean, I like people, so I mean, if you're on my team, I want to take care of you, at least to the best of my ability. I mean, sometimes I wish I had a little bit more firepower, and I wish I could go as fast as maybe it's like Aaron and Kathy Parker and take $4,000 in ads and just executive rotator the whole team. If you're working with us, click the link in the description, a little call to action. Sometimes I wish I had some of the extra resources, but you don't need to have paid advertising to go help your team. There's a bunch of free stuff out there. You can go on Facebook and just look at how many people watch your story. I mean, shoot, if you have a dog and you do a story of your dog and get 50 to 80 people to take a look at your story, that's 50 to 80 people to prospect, assuming that they're not already in the business. That's free. Posting this YouTube video, however long this video is free. And you can always keep track of how many views are on it, but I just wanted to kind of do this video and let you inside of a little bit inside of my mindset, the way that I think, because I don't do a whole lot of videos, which means you don't have to do a whole lot of videos either. And I want to start doing more content because I know that people will do what you do, and because I'm someone who's more introverted. I love writing. I love the skill of copywriting, which is really the written form of sales. I notice that I don't do a lot of video content, and videos are the fastest way to build know, like, and trust, because the right person can find you, relate to who you are, maybe your story. Like, for instance, back in the day for me, growing up, we went from motel to motel, friend's house to friend's house, because we didn't have a place to live, and it was just obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, after being in ghetto, after dropping out of school, and then even some of the business things, you have business ups and then you have business downs, and then going back and working as a restaurant software tech support manager, and it's just things like that, and of course that's not the full story, just little bits and pieces here and there, and then maybe some of your interests, I like soccer, I like yoga, I like going to the gym, I like playing video games, I like that type of stuff, and not everyone does, but there's going to be certain people that do, or maybe some people that relate to the archetype, and they're going to be the ones that reach out to you. They're going to be the ones that watch this full video and click the link in the description, because, for instance, it's well, how does Brian Kane's name rise up the leaderboards, and he doesn't even do all this fancy schmancy stuff, or maybe he does, who knows? Daily method of operations, and I am not afraid to reach out to some of the most influential people I know. I'm not afraid to reach out to my best friends. In fact, even my best friends locally, I actually had a little kind of pain and anxiety just because I've reached out to them with so many things over the years, and honestly, not all of them have been a success. And so here I am having to go reach out to them yet one more time and let them know that, I haven't been working for or I've been working a job for the past year. 2018 was my worst year ever in home business. And so this time I had to make sure everything worked. I had to go fly and drive around and meet all the leadership. I had to go drive to the corporate office and make sure that they weren't working out of mom's basement. I had to make sure that there were going to be no hiccups in commission pay. I had to make sure that people that were building this business were here for the right reasons, that they're ethical, if they're going to build marketing systems, that they weren't just going to build a marketing system, collect a list, and then move on to the next thing. I had to make sure that the people here were going to get taken care of. I had to make sure that the product actually worked, would sustain and be around for a long period of time. And that was made clear to me when, I let YouTube videos play on CBD. I was uneducated, and it was cool to see that there was testimonial after testimonial after testimonial after testimonial, and almost nothing non-positive press. I literally couldn't find one thing. It's all over the news stations. It's popping up in Walmart's, gas stations, And the crazy thing about that is how much demand there is. But the thing that makes me drop my stomach is when I take the little tincture off the shelf, if I can find one. Let's see, it's off the desk here. Here's one. So like when you take the little tincture off the shelf and you flip it to the back on like stores, how this one has like the press, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got like just a couple ingredients like the pressed seed hemp extract and the CBD rich whole hemp extract. It doesn't have any of the filler stuff. It doesn't have things that are classified as CBD but not actually hemp, like MCT oil and all the other stuff. This is about as pure as it gets. It's got all the scientific testing on the site. It's got expiration dates, lot size numbers. Everything is very well tracked. It's got a hemp authority seal, one of 13 companies, and everywhere else it's just like guaranteed every single time it's got fillers. And it's because either they want to, because it's cheap and it's just cheaper for them, better margins, or it's because they want to send you back to the pharmacy. Who knows how many secret deals that they have putting fillers in a pure product. And so I know there's a little bit of rant, and the main topic here is taprooting and keeping leaders around for a long period of time. And then it kind of went off to a rant that we got a really good company, and you can click the link in the description at any time. But here's the truth: you want to keep your team around for a long period of time. Just make sure everyone in your team collects a check. It's that simple. Make sure every person in your team collects a check, and keep doing that down in depth. Not so much wide, but down in depth. It's more powerful to go 100, 150, 200 levels down that you might not even get paid because maybe your comp plan only pays like 10 levels. But I promise you that your residual income is going to be the craziest thing. That is the type of activity that will make you an industry legend. That will make you an industry legend. How did you go so many levels down, and why are people staying in your team? Why are people staying in your team? Because they came for the money and they're sticking around for the recognition because you have an edification platform that is really good at bringing up new leadership. Why is it that that there's people in other companies that leaders come and go, and then they find an opportunity like this, and then they go from going deal to deal to deal to multiple streams of income, multiple streams of no income, multiple streams of income, to a place like this, and they plant their flag for the next 15 years, and they build one of the largest residual incomes in sometimes like their first 6 or 12 months, because they always looked for an opportunity like this. And so I don't know where you're at. Maybe you're watching this video because maybe you're already on my team, and so because I'm doing a video, you're just watching the whole thing. But if you're just someone that's randomly coming across this video because you're just searching for the right topic and you're just the right person for what we do, and you resonate on some level with the way that you should build on the internet, we do have some secret strategies here. We'll share them on the inside, but I want you to keep the foundation, the main thing. And that is just making sure that every new person that comes into your business has a simple system for them to go out there and bring maybe 2, 3, 4 of their best friends inside the system and duplicate that process. Duplicate what works. Duplicate the daily method of operations. Duplicate the very simple method of just getting started and possibly even making a sale the same exact day because you just followed the process, and maybe you had some good leadership that reached down, or maybe you're just someone that takes responsibility for everything that you do, and you've got a heart and passion. People can understand that you've planted your flag in something and you're ready to roll and you're ready to move, and that maybe you're just sick and you're frustrated with everything that's been happening around you up until now, and you've just been looking for something secure that would stick around if you just went just all effort, just all in, and put everything inside of a system that can help people win all around you. And so with that said, I'm not going to take up any more of your time, but I will give you a call to action. And the call to action is, if you're not in Hempworx or MyDailyChoice, you can go do your research. You can go search for it. I have no, I don't care if you work with me or not, but what I'm telling you is, if you want to guarantee your spot and the best leadership and the best company and the best products, and you want to have access to the Power Team marketing system and all the cool fancy bonuses that we give to our team members, or maybe if you do some research on the company, you keep running into us, then just find out right now what we're all about. Click the link in the description. We'll see you on the inside, my friend. Take care.